Hey, what's up? It's John Samuel, and welcome to All Access Live. Thank you so much for joining. And today we have a very, very special guest. We have my friend René Espinoza, who is the founder of Lazadiyo, which is an app that is bringing autonomy to people who are blind and low vision, like myself, all around the world. So, what's up, René? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the invitation. I'm excited about this. I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward.
I mean, we're going global today. So, René, where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Chile. So, well, for the people that don't know Chile, like a pretty long country, has a lot of coast, a lot of good seafood. And I'm in Santiago, that is the capital city. I've been out for 3 years now, so need to see my family.
That's awesome. And so before we get started and kind of learn more about what Lazadiyo is and kind of your story and everything, I want you to do a little bit of bragging. This is something that René does not do. He does not talk about all of the awards and things that he's accomplished. So René, please go through your list of accomplishments, please.
I don't like that. But okay. Okay, so I mean, I don't feel that they're my awards, but are from Lazarillo, so I can brag about Lazarillo. Yeah, sure. So, well, Lazarillo has won a lot of awards from the Zero Project Innovative Practice in 2018. That is, for the ones that don't know about that, is like a huge conference that is made in Vienna on accessibility with experts all over the world. And those experts are the ones that also define who wins these awards. And so we got an Innovative Practice Award back in 2018, and I was able to get to the United Nations buildings in Vienna at that time.
That's cool.
We also been awarded by Sisters ICT Global Award that was made by sponsored by MADA, that is an organization from Qatar. So we won that. There was a global competition. We also been supported by Microsoft for startups. Also being part of different accelerators like Tampa Bay Wave in Florida, and also 500 Startups Growth Program. They do in Miami. What else? I was awarded by the MIT Innovators Under 35 because of Lazarillo, right? And I think so. Well, and now we're being supported by Village Capital, that is like accelerator that helps you raise funding and all that. And also, it's part of the Young Leaders of America initiative. That is a program from the Department of State of the United States that support social impact entrepreneurs from Latin America. And I'm one of those entrepreneurs. That's it.
Thank you. You know, René and I have been doing several meetings over the last, month or two. So it's been fun because like René he's so humble and, and just a humble person and just a really genuine person. And he's so passionate about, the disability community and serving the community that, he doesn't talk about what Lazadiyo has already accomplished in terms of awards and recognitions. But we both know that's not what's important. But what is important is how do we serve this community that's been underserved. So René, can you please talk about what is Lazadiyo in a simple way that everyone can understand?
Sure. So, Lazarill on one side is a mobile application, and I will talk about that. And then also it's a platform that is for different organizations to make their services and access to their products more accessible. And so on the side of the mobile app, it's a free app that anyone can download and use for free. And it works in multiple countries. So the idea is that anywhere you open the app, they would use different data sources to give you information in an audible format. So that means that, for example, the person would be walking by a street, and then it will announce the street intersection, that there's a coffee shop in the right side, will announce the name of the brand, as well as if there's a bus stop nearby. And so the user can customize that experience, as well as adding favorite places, things like that. And it can integrate with different method of transportation. And so that is like the basic functionality of the app. that will work anywhere. And then the interesting part is that with the platform, companies can enhance experiences either in their physical space as well as in their digital spaces. So what that means is that a museum can create a tour at their museum, right, as well as a guiding wayfinding app for the users that will connect with Lazarillo, and with that map will guide users as well as providing them content.
Yeah.
But then also a hospital can also add the wayfinding to get users to appointments, as well as to make their appointment system more accessible through Lazarillo. And so that is some of the things they can do. Also, to access to products, for example, we have companies that have added their associate support in the app so that they can help facilitate access to their products. So we have a company they sell products for the home, and so users can have a call with an associate and then show their bedroom or like any place in their home. And so this company is called Sodimac Home Center, that they have the expertise to guide the user as well as describing the products and providing that assistance that the user need. And in that cases, they can also get like a card and get the products delivered to their home or pick up at the store, right? So we help make those companies more accessible that in some cases they haven't thought about that and they don't know how to reach this community. So that's really, yeah.
That's awesome. You provide a holistic approach to wayfinding, plus providing that on-demand support that really enhances the user experience, right? Because it's not just, there's some organizations that just do mapping, some organizations that do provide just that sighted support, but you found a way and a platform to bring it all together, which is super exciting to me, and I'm really excited about that. But taking a step back, how did you get into this? Like, what is your connection to this community? Why would you want to? Like, how did you find a need or see the need? Because I see it, I deal with it every day. But
yeah,
what about yourself?
Sure. Well, I get into when I was really young, 13 years old exactly. I have a big family loss, and that led me to decide to find a passion for what I should live, right. I felt that I need to either was a stepping stone where I need to focus my life on something, and was health and well-being. So on that time I decided that really early on, and that led me to study technology at the beginning, especially electronics and computer science, and I wanted to mix it up with health. I didn't want it to be a doctor, actually. So but I work with doctors and neurologists and occupational therapists, as well as with patients on that time. So while I was in college, I worked for this medical institution, and my main role was to develop low-cost assistive technologies, because there are many assistive technologies that are too high-end, and people cannot afford them, and so they cannot improve their life just because they don't have enough money to buy them. So I work with different patients to understand their needs, and what the main learnings was that what I made in the lab, if I didn't make it with the patient, it would not work at the end. So that led me to another project that was to develop a mobile application for people that were blind or have low vision, that needed to be accessible. On that time, I didn't know anything about accessibility. Like, was like accessible, how that works, and so I interact with a lot of people that show me right how they use the phone, and then I studied the standards and all that, and I saw a lot of potential of how to use this to enhance experiences, right? But I also realized that most of the applications and websites weren't accessible, and also the main challenges people that became my friend actually had on weekly basis or even daily basis. One of the things was I got a friend that he actually, due to a virus, he became blind at the age of 30, right? Actually. And so for him, he needed to start all over again, and And at that time I was 25. Now I'm 31. So it's actually a lot. Like, I felt that his need, and one of his main needs was on like every week he needed to go to a hospital, and when he went alone, using public transportation took him 2 hours on average. And so that's why he always needed like additional help from a family member. And so he was in a state that he was really like not sure he could do more things in his life. And I think one of my thoughts on that, like, was he didn't knew he had access, for example, to chats or things like that. So I taught him how to use some chat apps. And then a couple of weeks, he actually chat with me on that. Like, he was really excited because he managed to dominate that chat. It was WhatsApp actually, and then when he was one of the first people that tried the app, and he reduced his time from 2 hours to only 30 minutes. Going he's like alone, and that made a change, a huge impact in his life. He improved his independence, and then he said, no, I want to do more things. And so we've been really connected since the very beginning. And for example, he now studies computer science. So he studied like how to code and all that. He's teaching other like people that is elder, people that it has like over 50 that is turning blind, on how to use assistive technologies. And so he's working for a foundation doing that. And the other day he told me like he was doing a startup, right? So I think that's pretty cool. And he's been one of the early adopters of many things we do. Like when we try things with companies on like how to improve like the accessibility on the buying experience of products, he has been always using it because at the end he gains more and more independence, and now he realized that everything is possible. And I think that's the change we want to create. We want to improve not only the well-being of people, but also their wealth, how they can access to wealth, right? Like, I think that's the main reason. We don't want to be like the best GPS app. We don't care about that, actually. We care about like improving our users' life.
Quality of life.
And for that, we need to collaborate, and we do connections, as well as the platform is a means to the end that is improving the wealth and well-being.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, that quality of life is so important. We talk about it from, everyone can relate to it. Like people who are sighted who drive to work every day. If you could cut down your commute time by an hour and a half, right? From 2 hours to 30 minutes, what would that have an impact on your life? And because I think that's what people can relate to. That same impact that an individual like myself, if I could cut down my time. I talk about how Uber changed my life. Things of that nature that allowed me to come back home to North Carolina. This, Lazadiyo is enabling people to do those type of things that they previously could not. And so, René, you started in Chile, but so how many users are on your platform right now?
Yeah, so there are over 240,000 users that use Lazarillo. And now we're in more than 50 countries.
Love it.
The country where we have more users, actually, the United States, where we have over 27,000 users, and continually growing. And one of the things that we are excited about is that we're starting to do more projects in the United States, because it actually opens up more use cases for the app. And for example, in Chile, where we started, we get more. The percentage of people that of the total amount of people with visual disabilities, for example, that has the app is higher in Chile than in the United States, and that is because we provide more use cases. Actually, like if you're back home, you get information of governments as well as companies, and then you can access if you're interested in like having access to any product, you can use Lazarillo to get access to either buy something or get a financial service or go to a university, as well as we're adding also things on entertainment. Like we did events before COVID, were pretty cool. We're like 80,000 people in a huge park, a lot of attractions, and then you could go there, access from the menu on a small stand to access to the catalog of artists, and could know where you need to go in that park to to hear like your artist that you want. And we actually gave up some tickets, and we got to meet Metallica, so that was cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. René, we met when I did a video about Drip My Cane, the cane design competition. You saw a video and you reached out and you were talking about coming into the U.S. and wanting to to collaborate and partner as you came into the U.S. market. But that was a couple years ago, and since then you've done some really cool projects. Can you talk about what you're doing in the city of Detroit?
Sure. Yeah. So Detroit actually is an interesting project because it's a sponsoring project where Detroit, so where for Michigan Central and New Lab, they sponsor a neighborhood to impact, right? Like, so they wanted to impact a specific neighborhood that is called Courtown, and they, in our case, we mapped that neighborhood and enhanced like businesses one by one to add additional layers of information, such as the menu, for example, in a restaurant that sometimes is difficult to access, or the information of the different entrances of that restaurant, if that restaurant has or not an accessible toilet, right, and things like that. And so, as well as connecting with public transportation options. So we connected with free transportation methods that now the app, for example, if you're in a bus stop, announce when the next bus is going to come, and you can have a schedule and all that. And so that is a project that is really on the smart city aspect of Lazarillo, and like how we can use Lazarillo to improve a city, as well as to provide additional information like the accessible pedestrian signals. Like if you're going to cross a street, having access that if you have that option in that street intersection is key. Those are the things that we got feedback from users that we added to the project. And now the state of Michigan, with a grant called Michigan Mobility Fund, is helping us expand this to other 3 neighborhoods in Detroit.
That's so cool. That is so awesome. And I love the sponsorship model. So could you talk about it? Because I'd love to see how, tap into our network and see, if there's other organizations who could do a similar model. So can you explain what the sponsorship model is?
So in a way, so we have is where a company will sponsor for third-party companies, right, that they want to impact the services of Lazarillo, as well as information, right? So the idea of this is that, let's say, if you have B2B clients sometimes, right, like let's say a bank, they have small business owners and they want to help them understand more accessibility. What we will do is that on one side, we will create a profile in the Lazarillo app to enhance their experience. And then also the idea is to send those businesses content on accessibility so that they understand why this is important, what are the benefits, as well as how they need actually to comply with different regulations that they might not be aware, and where are the liabilities if they don't comply, right? So, so the idea is that businesses understand the need, as well as providing them tools to improve, right? And so in those cases, for a small business, having access to these tools could be difficult. So we made it easy in a way that a brand is sponsoring this. And so we're coming up with different models where, let's say, a hotel or a company that wants to impact a specific place because it actually get benefit from that. They can do it and put their brand on top of this accessibility sponsorship.
That's super cool. I think about it even here in the Raleigh-Durham area. There's a lot of great companies coming in, moving into downtown Raleigh, moving into RTP, and I have a couple ideas. I'm like, hey, these companies, if they want to make an impact in our community, show it by doing a sponsorship, making our streets more accessible, making it more inclusive of people. We talk about DEI, in a lot of cases about race, gender, and sexual orientation, but technology can have a huge impact on the disability community, and this is one way that organizations can get behind. And so, René, as we we talk about the projects, another cool project before we switch over to kind of close up is that can you talk about what's going on in Qatar? I mean, we're talking about a global impact you're making.
Yeah.
You talk about cool stuff in Detroit. Now let's touch on Qatar before we kind of wrap up.
Yeah. So Qatar is an interesting project because well, the way we start working with the organization called MADA from Qatar is that they did like a global scouting with a company called Sisters, and they select us, and then we start doing projects. The pandemic made a small delay, but we actually started doing specific projects in Qatar. So now, for example, we are mapping subway stations in Qatar. And so, so this year, for the ones that don't know, is the World Cup, football World Cup, but not American football. You already have it. Well, last weekend World was Cup. The Super Bowl. Well, there's also a World Cup, football World Cup, right?
Yes.
Soccer. And so, it's in Qatar. And one of the things, main means of transportation is the subway. I mean, the subway is really good. Like, you can move around whole Qatar with the subway, and it's actually, the experience is really good, but it's actually complicated because it's huge, and also, it has a way it works that is different. Actually, you have different wagons one for men, one for what is called family. That is actually for men and women and kids, and then a premium wagon in the same train. And so it's guided. The app will guide you through that, as well as getting connections and all that. So it's a really interesting use case, and it's going to be really important when the World Cup happens, right? Like when you need to move around, right? And that's a cool project that we're doing. And also we work with a museum too, to create experience in a museum. And so then now they're enhancing with content. And so that I think those projects are cool because there's a lot of new culture in those countries that would be really different from from our countries, right? I mean, it works different. Like the religion is sometimes like shape a country in a different way that could be really new for you. And I think that their access to the culture, I think, is really important too.
No, for sure. I mean, I think there's so many amazing use cases, from retail to downtown economic development to culture. And I think that that's what the coolest thing about Lazadiyo is, in my mind, is that you're creating access to these things that are part of our quality of life. And I think if I have to now, like, even getting to learn more, even though we talk all the time, Lazadiyo is a quality of life application, right? Improving the quality of life. And I think that's such a great thing. So René, as we kind of wrap up, what are 3 takeaways that you would want our listeners and to leave with?
Yeah, I mean, so I think that one of the main things, if you have a company, you own either a small business or a huge corporation, I think there are 3 key factors that you need to take care of. One is people, like how your associates, right, like your employees have access to information in terms of inclusion of people with disabilities. We talk about there's many people working in diversity and inclusion, and sometimes that inclusion doesn't include people with disabilities. And I think it's a huge aspect where, like, your employees that are facing your customers need to be trained. I think there's not only technology, also people. That is one thing. Also, second is that you actually have a way to validate with communities how you're providing the services, if there's a way to improve. I think having access to a community to give you feedback is pretty useful. Lazarill is a means to do that. Also can provide that access, but also having small boards of users that can provide feedback to what you're doing, I think is useful, and I've seen that in companies. And when I see that, it makes actually more sense on the implementation they do, because it makes you realize what are your main issues and how you can improve. And then in the side of if you have now you can have a physical and digital space, right? We're in a time where COVID came and like destroyed physical space in some cases, but now they're opening it up again. And of course, digital spaces get more, let's say, more focused for a time. And so both needs to be care about like accessibility.
Yes.
The digital spaces, that could be your e-commerce, as well as how someone could book a service. Having that accessible is key, because actually you reach more users, more customers, and as well as the experience in your physical venue. I think that both needs to be take care of. I think those are the takeaways. Is like, if you don't have any strategy, or this is new for you, I think it's useful to search, to ask for help. We can help, of course, but also companies like Abler can help, and we can both help, right? And I think it's good to ask for help instead of just not getting into the work. Like just you say, let's do it afterwards. I think doesn't work now. Like, you need to do it right now, especially in the moment in time where people would not only appreciate you can improve your brand, as well as your access, and people need that, right? The same way we need companies that are they have social responsibility on how they impact the world in terms of pollution. We need you to be inclusive, right? I mean,
for sure.
And inclusive in many ways, right? So
Oh, awesome. So René, how can people get in touch with Lazadiyo? Where can they download the app, and how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. So, well, they can get more information at our website, that is lazarillo.app, and they can download our app for free in Google Play App Store, just searching Lazarillo app, and it will appear up front. And then you can connect with me either in LinkedIn or through email at rene@lazarillo.app.
And so Lazadiyo is Lazarillo.
Yes.
There we go.
And then app, APP.
APP. So perfect. René, I'm just so thankful for you to take the time and just becoming my friend. It's just been so lovely to get to know you over the last couple of years, and I'm super excited to see what we're going to be able to do together, and see your own growth. It's super exciting. So thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
All right.
Talk to your friend.
All right. Take care. Thank you, everyone. And we will be back in a couple of weeks for the next episode of All Access Live. So thank you for joining us today. This was a very fun chat, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.